Good morning, children. Welcome back to English class. So today we have got a revision for you, which is on lesson number 7, Stepping Out, written by Charles Dickens. So now, children, we will quickly do a recap of this particular lesson. As we know, children, Charles John Dickens was born on 7th of February 1812 and he died on 9th of June 1870. He was an English writer and social critic, and we know that he created some of the world's best known fictional characters and is regarded by many as the greatest novelist of the Victorian era. Now, one of the famous works that he has done, well, the famous novels that he wrote is A Christmas Carol, Oliver Twist, David Copperfield, A Tale of Two Cities, and A Great Expectations. So now let us quickly do a summary of this particular lesson. So now children, let us do a quick summary of this lesson. As we know, this lesson is based on a wonderful story which is based on a boy, Oliver Twist. Now, Oliver was an orphan by birth. He spends much of his childhood at an orphanage with too many children and little food to eat. Now, after escaping, Oliver travels to London where he meets the Artful Dodger, a member of a gang of pickpockets led by the elderly criminal person, and his name was Fagin. Now, Oliver gets to go out and works on street with Charlie Bates and Artful Dodger. Soon enough, Bates and Dodger they keep an eye on an old gentleman who is engrossed in reading a book at a stall and pickpocket his handkerchief. For a moment, Oliver, who had no idea this was what working means, was frozen in horror. As we know, children, eventually Oliver also starts running in the same direction where Bates and Dodger actually have fled. But he does it in seconds too late, and he exactly what happens is gentleman turns out to take out his handkerchief and sees a boy speeding away. Now he starts in pursuit, raising the cry, stop thief, and suddenly you know what happens. Yes, there gathers an army of people and they start chasing the same boy. Now Bates and Dodger, who were hiding till then, they also join the same crowd. Oliver is eventually caught and taken down, a mess of blood, mud, and dust. Now let's see what happens. As we know, although the mob surrounding him seems revealing quite sadistically in the poor boy's misery. Now the policeman arrives eventually over there and then he takes away. He's not able to convince himself that this boy is innocent, but the old gentleman is actually not happy to know that he was supposed to be taken away by policemen. Now, as I already discussed with you children, this particular novel is really amazing with a wonderful climax. And as per the novel, this is not the end of the story. This is just a part of this novel which was taken for your new voice. Now, as per this particular lesson, Oliver was actually taken away by policemen and the gentleman also goes along with them. And this is what the story ends here. Now let us do a quick recap of reference to the contest and question and answers. Reference to the contest. Do you see the old cove at the bookstall? Now, who is the speaker? The speaker is the Artful Dodger. Now, who is the old cove? The old cove is the gentleman at the bookstall. What does the speaker do to the old cove? The speaker steals the old cove's handkerchief. Now let us do question answers. Question number 1. Why do you think that Dodger chose the old man? The answer is the Dodger chose the old man because he was clearly unaware of his surroundings, engrossed in the book he was browsing. Question number 2. Why did the old man think that Oliver had stolen his handkerchief? Yes, the answer is the moment Oliver broke into a run, the old gentleman realized that his handkerchief was missing. His estimation of the situation consequently was that the boy who he could see running off must be the thief. Next question. Why did the old man want to run away from the crowd? Why did he not run away? The old man was a kind person, although Oliver, whom did he thought of as thief, had been caught. The man did not appreciate the manner in which the mob was treating him. Their attitude made him deeply uncomfortable, and that was the reason he ran away. Now, children, we will do the textual activity. That means the activity which is given behind your lesson. So, make sure that you are going to do this activity. Take a pencil and you can immediately fill in the details or fill in the blanks which we are going to discuss today itself. Alright, so let us quickly start the activity. Now, children, let us come to page number 76. Now, on this page, we have an activity based on simile. Now, we already know what a simile is. Still, we will just do a quick recap. A simile is a form of figurative language and it makes a comparison between two unlike things using the words like or as. So now, based on similes, there are few fill in the blanks which are given, and they have also given you few words. So we have to select the best word which is suitable for this particular fill in the blanks. Now the first one is, when Sai dances, she floats across the stage like a feather. Yes, like a feather. Jasmine runs like the wind. Jasmine runs like the wind. Next, the crash of the utensils falling was loud as thunder. Next one, Ali is dependent upon by everyone because he is solid as a rock. Everyone was nervous about the results, but Shushmita was cool as a cucumber. He turned white as a ghost when he was caught stealing. Now, children, let us quickly go to page number 76 again. Now, here we have past simple tense. Now, what do you mean by past simple tense? Now, the simple past tense refers to the action that were done or things that existed in the past. So, any action or any activity that we do in the past, basically this is a simple past tense. I have given you one example, students, over here. It's I played. So, when I say I played, that's my simple past tense. Now, what formula you will just understand for this? We have to go ahead with the subject. Now, I over here is a subject plus the past tense form of the verb. Now, play, the past tense form is played. Yes, so your sentence is I played. Right. Now, let us go to the next one. I have given you two examples over here. My great-grandfather taught in a school. My great-grandfather taught in a school. Today I ate chapatis for lunch. Today I ate chapatis for lunch. Now, children, if you carefully go through these sentences, these are your simple past tense. Okay? Now, let us go to the next slide. Now, children, in certain cases, the meaning of simple past tense can also be expressed with used to plus the and plus base form of the verb. Now, how to do it? Well, I have given you one example. I used to go to the library every morning. So, that's the past. I used to go to the library every evening. Now, the next one. My father used to act in plays before his marriage. My father used to act in plays before his marriage. So, as we know, this is one more simple thing that you can remember. Sometimes simple past tense, we can also express it by using used plus to plus the plus base form of the verb. Now, let us quickly go through the past continuous. Now, what will be the formula? Something to remember about this particular sentences. It has got a subject. It has got, was in it. And then it has a verb with ing. So, how will you remember this? The past continuous. Continuous. Whenever there is a continuous form, it will be the verb will be in ing form, children. Okay, so the formula is subject plus was or were plus verb with ing. Now, depending on your singular or the plural form. Now, this particular sentence says, I was playing. I was playing. Now, if I change this sentence to the plural form, if I say they, so it will be they were playing. They were playing. Now, let us do few more examples based on that. Last night, we were walking on our terrace. Last night, we were walking on our terrace. Next one. I saw smoke was coming out of our neighbor's house. I saw smoke was coming out of our neighbor's house. So this is a past continuous tense. Now children, in all the sentences, the action was in progress over a period in the past. Okay, now the sentences which were given, they all are in past continuous tense. So as we know, the action was already in progress. Okay, so last night we were walking on our terrace. So the action was in progress over a period in the past. So this is what the particular sentence actually tells us. Now let us go to the next one. Now children, let us go to page number 78. Now there is a fill in the blanks with appropriate forms of the verbs in the bracket. They have given the verbs in the bracket. You have to use the correct form of the verb. Now let us start. Yesterday. Now yesterday dash. In the bracket they have given be the coolest day of the year. So we have to mention yesterday was the coolest day of the year. The mercury dash into bracket fall. So the correct verb will be the mercury fell to 0 degrees Celsius. The mercury fell to 0 degrees Celsius. At sunset, many homeless people were looking for dry twigs. At sunset, many homeless people were looking for dry twigs. A man broke the branches of a tree. Now, they have given break. You have to make the proper use of the verb. So, a man broke the branches of a tree. This is the past. He threw them down. The throw will get converted to threw. So, he threw them down. People collected those dried twigs and branches. So, yes, the collect will become collected. So, people collected those dried twigs and branches. Now, light a bonfire. That will become they lit a bonfire. They sat around it to keep themselves warm. So yes children, this is how you have to fill in the blanks with the correct verbs. Now let us quickly go to the past perfect. Now in past perfect, you can use subject plus had plus past participle form of the verb. So it will be I plus had plus played. Alright. Now, children, you have to remember this, which is very important. Now, carefully notice the sets of action which is being described. Now, let us see this. There is a statement given over here. She put the clothes in the cupboard after she had ironed them. I repeat, she put the clothes in the cupboard after she had ironed them. Now, after doing the ironing, definitely the clothes were being kept in the cupboard. So the first action was ironed, right? Now, kindly check over here. Two actions are being mentioned. What are the two actions given here? Put and iron. Let us see. Which are the two actions given here? Put and iron. Put and ironed. Now, actions that happened first are expressed through had. Understand one thing children, the action that we do first will be expressed through had. So what was the action done first? Ironing. That's ironed, right? So it will be had ironed. Now, the next one. The action that occurred later was expressed in the simple past. Okay. So the the action that was done later on was expressed in the form of simple past. So this is how you can understand from the sentence. I repeat, she put the clothes in the cupboard after she had ironed them. So ironing was done first, so it will be converted to had ironed them, and the first action which was done, which will be expressed in the simple past. Okay, now based on this, I will give you one more example, children. So let us quickly go to the next sentence. Now let me see who can tell me. Now the sentence is, the game had started before I reached the stadium. Now understand, children, the game had started before I reached the stadium. Now which are the two actions which are mentioned here? The action is start and reach. Now which is the first action? The first action is started. That means the game started first. So since the starting, that means start is the first expression, we have to mention had started. Okay. Now the action which is done later, that is reach, now they have expressed in the simple past, so that is reached. Okay, it says reached. So yes, children, this is how you can actually frame the sentences, which is really easy to understand and identify. So children, now you must have seen that in both these sentences, after had we have used past participle. All right, so now in this sentence we had used had ironed them, so along with had we had mentioned the past participle, right? So then the sentence becomes, she put the clothes in the cupboard after she had ironed them. So that is had plus past participle. Now again in the second sentence as well, we have used had started. That means had plus past participle. So now I'm very sure, children, you must have understood the past participle. So whenever we use the past participle, we need to add had plus the past participle. This will be your correct sentence. All right. Now let us go next. Now children, here are few pairs of sentences. Now in these sentences, we have used simple past as well as present perfect. Now let us check this. Ravi has broken the window. You can say Ravi broke the window as well, right? Now it also denotes the action which is done in the past. So both these sentences states that the action is done in the past. Okay. Now the next one. I have seen the Sun Temple. I have seen the Sun Temple. You can also say I saw the Sun Temple. Now in again both these sentences, the action is showing which is done in the past. Okay. So simple past and present perfect always denotes the action which is done in the past. Now, as discussed in the earlier pairs of sentences, let us check. The simple past is used to talk about completed action in the past. Yes, the action which is already completed. This is what it denotes in simple past. Now, the present perfect is used to talk about a present situation. That means the current situation, which is a result of something that happened at an unspecified time in the past. That means something, that action which has been taken place at an unspecified, without any specific time in the past, but yes, the action was done. This is what is the difference between simple past and the present perfect. Now let us quickly go through one more exercise which is given in your textbook. Now children, let us do one more very interesting activity, and that is study the table carefully and answer the questions that follow using the proper tenses. So over here we have to use proper tenses, but for the information, we have to look at the table which is given on page number 80. That's 80. Now the first question is, has the train from Bhopal arrived? Well, the answer is the train from Bhopal has not arrived. Yes. Now the second one, when did the train from Hyderabad arrive? The answer is the train from Hyderabad arrived at 7:45 a.m. Next, has a train from Jaipur arrived? The train from Jaipur has not arrived. So children, while doing this activity, we are supposed to take care of the table which has been given on page number 80. Now let's just quickly go to the next one. Again, the next question is, has a train from Guwahati arrived? Well, the answer is the train from Guwahati has arrived. When did it arrive and where? It arrived at 9:40 a.m. on platform number 4. Yes, it arrived at 9:40 a.m. on platform number 4. Has a train from Lucknow arrived? The train from Lucknow has arrived. So now children, you must have seen that, while using these tenses, it was so easy to actually frame the correct sentences and the answers, right? So now I'm very sure now you're clear with all the tenses and also the formulas of the tenses which is being taught to you. So let us quickly go for the next slide. So yes children, now we have already completed your lesson number 7, stepping out revision, with a few question answers and reference to the contest. So make sure children that you read the lesson properly. Okay, the reason is from inside the lesson, your teachers can actually ask any questions. So make sure that you are thorough with reading of the lesson. And one more thing is, we have also done the textual activity which is behind the lesson. So yes children, it was really a fun doing this activity as well. So yes children, make sure that you are going to revise this as well. So see you again in the next session with one more revision for you. Till that time children, practice and make sure that you are going to study well. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.